Why? Well, hopefully you guys see something out there other than clouds, but we got a lot, which is good news. We need rain in the south. We're getting
Yeah.
We do, and we're getting some, and maybe not as many horseshoe clouds, but ones that actually produce rain.
Yes, those nimbus clouds.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a good one here.
Yep.
Stay dry out there. We'll keep it going. And here's a look at what's happening today from 9. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for sticking with us through the mid-morning hours on America's Morning Headquarters. You know, it's another day of storms in the south after a day and night of severe weather. Here's a look at those storm reports.
I know, we saw a bunch of damaging winds and tornado reports. We're sort of in that preliminary process of figuring out exactly how many there were, but Louisiana, Mississippi in particular, had some rough weather over the last 24 hours.
You know, the area that saw most of the storm reports happened to be in that area where we had the 5 for the Torcon. And so that was the zone that we really identified that was going to be at risk here. And unfortunately, it panned out. Now, the Cotton Port in Louisiana, a police officer pulled 3 people from a home that was destroyed by a possible tornado.
Yeah, this is showing up 2 different views of the storm that swept through parts of Louisiana. This is from a distance.
Let's take a look at what's going on right now across the country. No delays at the airports, thankfully, at the moment. That's some good news. Weather-wise, we've got rain today affecting a lot of the east. If you're traveling 75 and east, I think that's going to be the issue spots here. 65, yes, in pockets. We're going to have some of that rainfall, but that will be ending as we get through the day. Rainfall affecting air travel as well here in terms of maybe the low clouds, making you not be able to land as many flights. So that could be a reason for some delays. We're going to have, I think, the potential for delays at all the New York City area airports, Eastern Pennsylvania, D.C. area airports, a chance for that. Tomorrow, the weather is improving. There's still some rain left around, especially the first part of the day. Got to keep an eye on New England for that. Southeast, there'll be some rain potentially throughout the day. So some of our North Florida airports, Jacksonville, even Orlando, we've got that chance that maybe there could be some impacts here. We'll have to keep an eye on that for any potential delays. If you're driving, I-95 would be one to watch here for rainfall, especially again for the first half of the day to the north, to the south of the mid-Atlantic. That might linger a little bit longer. Well, we also have our next system coming into the northwest here, and that's going to be bringing some rain to Seattle, potentially affecting travel there. Let's hit the roads here for San Antonio to Houston. The busiest day is actually going to be Sunday, and at least for travel today, we're looking pretty good. Storms in the south that we're talking about. We're also tracking some snow, maybe even ice in the northeast.
This may not be, unfortunately, weather-wise, the day to hit the road. You might want to consider waiting some of these conditions out. They will improve as we get closer to tomorrow and Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. For most. There's a couple spots you want to avoid, like Idaho, Wyoming, where we got the snow coming in for Thanksgiving. But other than that, everyone else's weather does get better here. But we got to get through today, and you might not really have a choice, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you have your flights scheduled for today or tomorrow.
That's done, yeah. No options there.
No options. You got to go and take it on the chin.
Yeah, all right. So let's talk about the south and where the rain is now, where it's going, what kind of atmosphere we're working with out here. You know, right now, it's kind of warm and humid. We've got dew points that are up in the mid to upper 60s near 70. This is kind of like a, late summer, early fall kind of air mass at Atlanta Airport, and there's no spots. I'll be dropping them off later today. We've got the rain out there across the east, which is going to be a contributing factor with all the volume, and that's going to create some delays on the roads and in the air. First, looking at road travel, some of the rain has been heavy at times already. There's a couple spots in northern Alabama, keeping an eye on for flash flooding. We're going to have to watch for that concern all across the east today, and just wet roads make it slower, and you should slow down here, and hopefully there's not accidents that slow it down even worse. Air travel, we already have some delays out there, though nothing bubbling up at any one specific airport. Looking at the numbers, Atlanta Airport has the most delays of any airport right now here, but nothing so significant that there's a ground stop or a ground delay program or anything like that. We do have some issues tomorrow, too, still lingering in the southeast. Some rain here, maybe even a few thunderstorms. Northern Florida, we'll keep an eye on that. Northeast will have some lingering rain, at least for the first part of the day, though it does get better later in the day, which is good news for travel. There may be delays that start your day that continue through the day, but if not, I think the afternoon should recover. The wind would be one factor, which could maybe still delay some of the New York City airports even after the rain is out. And then looking ahead to your Thursday, Thanksgiving Day travel, most of the nation great, except in Idaho and in parts of Montana, where we've got snow coming in. So you want to change your travel there to try to avoid that snow and all the issues it can bring.
You might be right on that one. Yikes.
Ooh, all right, well, let's say neither. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us through the mid-morning hours on America's Morning Headquarters. It's another day of storms in the south, and this comes after a day and night of severe weather like we had. This is some of the reports.
Some of the reports from yesterday, we saw damaging winds, we saw some tornadoes across parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. It didn't get going until later in the afternoon, which is kind of what we thought. It was kind of taking its time, but once the afternoon and evening kicked in, we saw the severe weather.
Yeah, and we had about 20 reports of that, including 5 tornado reports. And in Cottonport, Louisiana, a police officer pulled 3 people from a mobile home destroyed by a possible tornado. A flash flood warning was also issued as the rain continued to fall, leaving behind at least 2 inches of standing water.
Indeed. Now, we want to show you 2 different... And into Friday.
Well, it's not just rain and storms in the south we're talking about, also tracking snow and maybe even ice in the northeast.
And this is not the day to hit the road. You might want to consider waiting it out. Conditions will improve as we get closer into Thanksgiving. For many of us, the weather looks much better than it is today.
I just got a sneak peek at your radar that you're going to be talking about, and I describe it as like an atmospheric battle that is happening. What precip type will win?
It's so hard to forecast precip type because if you're off a couple of degrees, it matters the world. You can either be rain.
1 degree. We're talking about 1 degree.
Right. Rain, ice, or snow, 1 degree or 2 degrees matter, and it's so hard to forecast that.
So I guess the south is a little easier. Plus, it's warmer. I mean, we've got 60s in rain, better than 40s in rain.
Indeed.
I'll take you through the south and show you what we are working with right now, rain-wise. The rain has been moving through spots like we showed you water sound, and I'll show you what the radar looks like. Yeah, I mean, we're actually in a nice break, so that's right in here.